Hey guys, welcome back. So tonight we are going to make the ever popular wreaths with the eggs that everybody has been doing. So first of all, this is the materials that you're going to need. You are going to need 2 of the 14-inch wire frames from the Dollar Tree. I chose the eggs that are currently 40% off, $6.99. And they have the buffalo check, the speckled, and the burlap to put them in. 40% off. This week at Hobby Lobby, this is $4.99, and it is 50% off, and it is chicken wire. So what I did is I took the raffia, which, by the way, is also at Hobby Lobby. And before the video started, I just kind of put my eggs where I wanted them. Okay, so we are going to now just take the eggs that I didn't glue down, and we are going to glue them on. When you are doing this, something that you should be mindful of is that all of your egg points are pointing the same way. If you don't do it that way, then it will look like, you know, it's an afterthought. So I had already kind of laid it out in my mind. There is no right and no wrong way to do this. Then I'm taking hot glue and I'm just putting them down in the hay. And as you can tell, the hay is kind of sticking out and going every which way, which is totally fine because that's the way chickens lay their eggs. That's the way you should do it as well. So I went ahead and I put that on. And you just glue them down. Now, when you go to glue stuff down, you need to be mindful if you're going to use a sign, in which I am going to use a sign. I'm actually going to put this right here, and it says, "Welcome to our farmhouse." These are actually garden stakes at Dollar General for $1, and I just removed those. And so now I've got all of my eggs in place. This is where I'm going to put my bow. So the next thing you're going to do is you're simply going to take your wreath mats and you're going to line them up this to this. All you're going to do is take a zip tie and zip it together so that it will be easier for you to be able to cut them and hold it together when you go to do your when you go to do your signs and all of that good fun stuff. Hold on, ladies, we got a malfunction. I glued my straw to the mat, so hold on just a second. Sorry about that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of this zip tie is going to match up with this zip tie, just so it'll be stronger. And like I said, I'm just going to zip it together. Now, I've seen people do these with different colors of eggs. And what they do is do the Easter bunnies. I've seen people do it with, you know, all natural eggs, all black and white eggs. It's really whatever you want to do. And put what you want to put on it. And I'm just going to make sure that I do them. I'm only doing 4 of them. And I'm trying to do them across from each other to make it easier for me to hold on to it when we go to do the chicken wire. But I hope that everybody has had a wonderful Saturday. Saturdays are always busy for everybody. But I've got this joke for y'all guys, and it's called the best senior citizen joke ever. So there was a little-haired lady, and she called her neighbor in a panic. And she's like, "I can't figure out how to get this jigsaw puzzle together and what it's supposed to be when it finishes." And the little lady said, "According to the picture, it's supposed to be a tiger." Well, her neighbor decided to go over and help her with the puzzle. And she lets him look at the puzzle and she shows him where the puzzle is and it's spread all over the table. And the lady's neighbor said, well, now, first of all, honey, he said, no matter what we do, we are not going to be able to get this to look like what it is on the box. And he said, now, let's think just for a second. And he puts his hand in hers and he says, now let's relax and let's put all the cornflakes back in the box. Whoops. Yeah, it looked like a tiger, but it was Tony the tiger. So, as you can tell, I've already done all my zip ties. We're just going to take these and we are going to cut them. So, that's what your wreath will look like. And I have decided to put my bow here and I'm going to put my chicken here. So now is the time that we're going to do our chicken wire. Like I said, you can do, I've seen some with bunnies on them. They are adorable. I have seen them with roosters on them. Just all kinds of ideas that you can do. Also, this chicken wire that I got at Hobby Lobby, it comes in all colors. Gold, bronze, silver, you know, you name it, it comes in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right here where my bow is going to be. And all I'm simply doing is just kind of tucking that in. And then you just basically start rolling it around your chicken wire around your wreath. Now, do not panic if you got hay sticking out. It is okay. We will trim all of that later. And then you just kind of go around. Just take your time. It's not got to be neat. It's not got to be perfect. Because, honey, there ain't no hen house that I know of that's perfect. So, this was the perfect craft for me. I actually have a bay window, I guess you would call it, or a picture window that's got 2 side windows and then a gigantic window in the middle. And I'm actually going to hang this in the inside of my window inside of my house instead of the outside because, as we all know, I've got farmhouse. And I'm just basically going around, just taking my time, no big deal. And then hopefully we will end up right where we started. You will see that the chicken wire, you have ample to do this wreath. There's not a lot of left. There's not a lot of risk of you not having enough to do this. I'm just cutting this right quick so that I can tuck it back in there. These are some wire cutters my sweet little husband gave me because he felt sorry for me struggling with my fibromyalgia to make these things. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to tuck it back in because this wire mesh is very bendable. Now, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to cut off all my little pieces. And that way it'll kind of clean it up a little bit. Toss that to the side. And there we go. So there is our wreath. Let me cut this little piece. That's like that cowlick that your mama gave you. Honey, it's sticking up every which way. So, as you can tell, it is very simple. 2 $1 wireframes from the Dollar Tree. And then you get your eggs for $6.99. That is 40% off. And then you got to decide, you know, where you want your chicken, where you want your bunny. I've seen people put signs in behind here, which is really good as well. The possibilities are endless. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my chicken on here. And this is the fun part, honestly. I'm just going to try to find a place that the little chicken will kind of rest, basically. And the good thing about it is it's going in the house, so it doesn't have to withstand the weather. If you are going to be putting yours outside, you could maybe even tie yours on if you wanted to. But I'm not going to put mine outside, so I don't have to do all that. But it just depends on where you want to do it. And you could actually tip it over if you wanted, like I'm going to do. And I'm going to press it down a little bit. This wireless or cordless glue gun, I got it from Hobby Lobby when it was 40% off. They're like $14.99. Best investment I ever made. All right, so now we have our wreath. So now we need to do our bow. And we're going to put this to the side. I found this most adorable chicken ribbon that you have ever seen in your life. Now, making a bow, you might get intimidated. Don't be intimidated. You're just going to take a loop and just go back underneath it. Just keep it pinched. Back underneath it. When you are working with pattern ribbon, do not twist it when you go back underneath it. Because if you do, then your pattern will be upside down on one part of your bow. And that's not good. So all I'm doing is 3 loops that match on each side. And then I'm just going to cut it. And I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. And we're just going to twist it around. Okay. Now, the good thing about this is everything is done. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure they're both together and just cut it. Make sure they're both together and cut it. Now, you've heard people say that they need to break their ribbon. All that is a fancy word for taking their 4 fingers and rolling it under. That's what that is. 4 fingers, roll it under. And it makes your ribbon kind of curl up. Now, I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of pre-fluff it before I put it on my wreath. And the reason why I'm doing that, so that when I do go put it on my wreath, it will be kind of already there, I guess, ready to go. Now, I am going to go one step further, and I'm going to take some twine that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. It comes in this little handy-dandy thing, and I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to actually wrap it in between the pipe cleaner 2 times. So 1, bring it back under, and then I'm going to tie a bow, or maybe a knot. Let's just do a knot, so it'll be easier. And then that's our bow. Okay, now this is where having a pipe cleaner is helpful. You take this pipe cleaner and the other part of my wreath that I did not put any eggs underneath. Now, you can put eggs all the way around yours if you want to. I didn't because I have a lot of these to make for orders. And so I'm just going to take this pipe cleaner, and basically all we're doing is we're twisting it, okay? That's all we're doing. But while I'm sitting here twisting it, we're going to come up with another little joke. The name of this one is called Moses. And it says, George W. Bush is in an airport, noticed a man with a long flowing robe with a long white beard, and following him, and he had a staff in his hand. And the man had a staff in one hand and some stone tablets under the other arm. George W. approached the man and inquired, "Aren't you Moses?" And the man ignored Mr. Bush, and he stared at the ceiling. Well, Mr. Bush asked him again, and right in front of him, he said, "Aren't you Moses?" And the man continued to ignore him. Well, George tugged at the man's sleeve once again and said, "Aren't you Moses?" And finally the man answered, "Yes, I'm Moses. Yes, I am Moses." And Mr. Bush asked him, "Well, why are you so uppity, the man said, well, the last time I spoke to a bush, I had to spend 40 years in the desert. Whoops, he's got some hard feelings. But as you can tell, this is already on. And all I'm doing is just kind of breaking this bow. And I'm going to fluff it. And I'll fix it, you know, the way I want it. Now, when you make your bows, there's no right or wrong way to make a bow. There's like 1,000 different techniques out there. My advice to you ladies and gentlemen that are trying to learn how to do this, get on YouTube. There are all kinds of tutorials. There are some very talented people out there. I am self-taught, and it took months and months of practice and a lot of failures and a lot of, you know, successes, but eventually you will find a method that works for you. So this is our finished product, as you can readily tell. And it's as simple as that. You can put different colored eggs and do, you know, bunny eggs or whatever you want to, but this is the farmhouse style that I chose to do. And as you can tell, this is kind of hanging a little bit long, so I'm just going to cut that, and that has really no purpose except for decorations only. So this is our farm wreath, our chicken wreath, and like I said, I'm going to put it in my middle window. So I thought that was easy peasy. I would love to see some of your wreaths. Now the next thing we're going to do is these are from the Dollar Tree, and they come in all these cute little things. They've got a truck, they've got a camper, they got a blue truck, and they got a red truck. So what I did was I picked me up 4 red trucks today from the Dollar Tree. Like I said earlier, I am a Dollar Tree junkie. Love me some Dollar Tree. And I actually picked these up today as well. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a flathead screwdriver and just kind of shimmy this out. And it will pop this styrofoam out. And it just fits right down in the back of this truck beautifully. So, well, it did when I was doing it for practice before I came on here to tell y'all about it. But, tomorrow is the first day of spring. I'm so excited. Okay, so as you can tell, these just go right down in the truck. Very easy. No problem at all. Okay. And I have already pre-cut these out. And I'm just going to put them down in there. But before I put them all in there, this is Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of it out. Of course, you know, with moss, you don't ever get a little bit out. It's a whole lot. It doesn't come out like you want it to. But what I was going to do to cover up the styrofoam is I was just going to put some glue just randomly around it. Don't fill up your hole where your little succulent plant goes in, because then you won't have room to put it in. And I'm just going to put this in the back of the truck. And then I'm going to just stick that back in there. And of course, you can do a little haircut if you want to make it not so crazy. But I love red trucks. Red trucks are my favorite thing. We have a Christmas tree farm, like I had said earlier in some videos. And we have a section, and it's called Country Roads Take Me Home. And it features the red truck and everything about the red truck. We have ornaments, towels, you name it, we got it. But, so I just love red trucks. The reason why I am not going to glue these in is because I thought that it would be cute to change these out as the seasons come. And I could have little red trucks out throughout the year. Because not only are we going to put these back in there, we are fixing to do something really cool to these trucks. So after you give it a little haircut, it's ready to go. With farmhouse stuff, you know, a lot of people, it's all black and white, and that's fine. But I love the color red because it reminds me of the blood that Jesus shed on the cross for us so many years ago. And so I always have red somewhere in my house. And I'm going to put this Spanish moss on these two left. Let's see here. Let's take this out first. Okay. I'm sorry, my dog, every time I get on here with you guys, he's got to talk. I don't know why, but he does. So we are just going to continue to put our little moss on here. And I just think these are the cutest things. And like I said, they've got the blue pickup trucks as well. They've got the campers. And then they got the pop-up campers. So all you people that are camping, you could do the blue trucks if you wanted to. Which I thought was a cute idea. So I'm going to put this one down in here too. These were only $1. So you're talking $2 for this little craft. I'm going to be making gnomes when I get back from my trip to see my family. And I'm excited about that. Abby Pilgrim and her mom, they love gnomes. And Kimberly Brooks loves them. So I am going to make myself do some gnomes because I love them. And that is the only reason why I'm doing that, because gnomes freak me out, y'all. I'm sorry, they do. I know they're like all the rage and everybody loves them, but I don't know. There's just something about little furry, hairy, short men that just, I don't know, they make me a little uneasy. So, anyway, but all of y'all that are subscribed to this, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start having some contests for people that make comments, like it, and share it. I think I may start doing like a winner of a craft a month, because without your loyalty, I couldn't get this started, and this is a goal of mine. All right, so we have 4 cute, adorable, precious red trucks. But everybody that knows me knows I'm a little extra, so we're fixing to do some extra. So we're going to slide this over, and hopefully we will be okay and not knock you down. So before I started, I went and I cut out the word home, and it was the skinny font. If you use the Cricut, that's the font that I used, which mimics the Ray Dunn font, which is huge in the farmhouse. And I'm going to spell the word home on my trucks. Now, this side is a little curved, and this side is flatter. And when you get them, you will be able to tell right away which way is, which way it is. But I'm going to make sure that my little tailgates all line up. And so I am going to put the word home on mine. You could do family, you could do welcome, you could do your last name. The possibilities are endless. So this is what I'm going to do, is the word home. And hopefully it'll come up or stay on my truck and not come up. Whoops, I'm sorry, guys. And just remember, with transfer paper, and so you've got H. All right, make sure your little tailgates are the same way. If you're really OCD, and I am, and if my tailgates were all different, it would drive me crazy. It'd be a short trip, but it would drive me crazy, girls. I'm telling you, it'd drive me nuts. So I'm just going to peel this up. And I pre-cut these off of the Cricut, like I said earlier, because I didn't want y'all to have to sit there and watch me cut those. So we got H-O. Alright. And you know, even Christmas, I even thought about, you could put ho ho ho. You could write Merry. You could write blessed. I mean, the possibilities of these little trucks from the Dollar Tree is unbelievable. And like I said, this is what they look like. They have the little camper, the pull behind camper, the blue pickup trucks, or whatever, you know, you wanted to do, you could do. So there, it's just really up to you what you want to do. But I would love to know what you do with yours. If you're going to do welcome, if you're going to do your last name, if you're going to do home, blessed, faith. You could do all kinds of things. And you could put all different kinds of flowers. It wouldn't have to be succulents. So, you know, really whatever you wanted to do. So we got H-O. And then we are going to do E. And like I said, I've got my tailgates going the same way, because Lord knows we all need therapy and we can't afford it, so we just do this instead. And I love the skinny font. It is a free font that is preloaded on your Cricuts. If you have a Silhouette or a Cameo, I'm sure that you could download it, or hey, y'all might even have a free font. I'm not even sure. So, because I do Cricut. That's what I do. You know, I know there's pros, there's cons, there's things that are good and things that are bad, but hey, that's just me. So we got H-O-M-E, and I just think that this is adorable. So I'm going to set this in my window. But is that not the cutest thing that you've ever seen? I mean, how precious is that? And this is a total of $4. I used scraps to cut this out. And like I said, this is in the garden section. And it's got the little hitch back. So you could, you know, alternate between it if you wanted to. You could mix it up if you wanted to. Whichever one you wanted to do. But they're in the garden section. And they come like this. These right here is where the succulent plants are. I'm going to save these, and I'm actually going to put the word home, and I'm going to put them in my bathroom because they're so small. I thought that would be cute, like on the back of the commode or something. So anyway, this is another look at it laying down. And so now I have the perfect little thing that says home. But I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope that you have learned something. And this is another variation of the chicken wreath. It's just, I use the natural eggs. This is farm, it says Farm Fresh and Country Life. So there's all kinds of varieties that you can do. And it doesn't have to be expensive. But thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, this is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Thank you. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.